What if I told you the fountain of youth isn't a supplement or a workout machine, but a position your body was designed to hold? This one simple move can protect your joints, keep you mobile, and even fight off the effects of aging. Today, we're diving into the resting squat, the #1 anti-aging exercise that 99% of people ignore. When you look at the way we live today, it's pretty clear that modern life has stolen something from us, something our bodies were built to do naturally. Think about it. For thousands of years, human beings didn't have couches, office chairs, or recliners. Daily life required us to move, squat down to cook over a fire, work in the garden, or simply rest in a deep, natural position close to the ground. That was our default seat, but then somewhere along the way, chairs took over. Now, instead of dropping into a deep squat, most of us spend the bulk of our day sitting in a fixed position, at a desk, behind the wheel, or on the couch after work. And while that might feel comfortable in the moment, it's slowly robbing us of the mobility and strength our bodies were designed to maintain. Picture a busy American weekday. You wake up, grab a quick breakfast at the counter, commute to work, and sit for 8 or more hours in front of a screen. Maybe you take a short break to grab a sandwich or scroll on your phone, then head back to the chair until it's time to drive home, where you sit down again for dinner and maybe unwind on the sofa with Netflix. By the end of the day, you've spent 80 to 90% of your waking hours in some kind of chair. The result: your hips get tight, your lower back stiffens, and your knees lose the ability to bend the way they were meant to. Now, here's where it gets real. This isn't just about feeling a little stiff, it's about how your body ages. When we stop moving through full ranges of motion, the body adapts in the wrong direction. Muscles shorten, tendons lose elasticity, and joints start to feel rusty, almost like a door hinge that's never oiled. Compare that to cultures where squatting is still a part of everyday life. People can sit down in a resting squat to eat, chat, or work well into their 70s and 80s, with far fewer complaints about stiff hips or painful knees. The truth is, chairs made life more convenient, but they also quietly stripped us of a movement that once kept us strong, mobile, and naturally resilient. The good news: you can take it back. Reintroducing this lost position into your daily routine can restore function you didn't even realize you were missing. And it all starts with choosing to move differently than the modern world has trained us to. A lot of people think stiffness and limited mobility are just a natural part of aging, like gray hair or wrinkles. But here's the truth: it's not really age that makes you feel tight, achy, or stuck. It's inactivity. The human body is designed to adapt to whatever you do most often. If you move regularly, use your joints, and challenge your muscles, your body stays strong and flexible. But if you spend years avoiding deep movements, sitting in the same position day after day, your body adapts to that too, and not in a good way. Think about it like this. Imagine a car that you park in the driveway and never drive. The battery drains, the tires go flat, the engine seizes up. Not because the car is old, but because it hasn't been used. Your body works the same way. If you don't take your hips, knees, and ankles through their full ranges of motion, the muscles and tissues around them tighten up. The joints themselves start to feel rusty, and before you know it, what once felt effortless, like bending down to pick something up or playing with your kids on the floor, starts to feel difficult. That's not aging, that's disuse. Now let's bring this to everyday life in America. Picture a typical workday. You're at the office, sitting in a chair for hours, maybe rushing out for a quick lunch where you sit again at a restaurant or in your car. You get home, tired, and the first thing you want to do is sink into the couch. That cycle repeats 5, 6, 7 days a week. Over months and years, your body literally reshapes itself to that routine. Hips lose flexibility, back muscles weaken, and the ankles forget how to bend deeply. So when someone tells me I'm just getting old, that's why I can't move like I used to, I remind them, no, you're just moving less and your body has adapted to that inactivity. The good news is, adaptation works both ways. Just like the body adjusts when you stop moving, it also responds when you start moving again. By reintroducing natural patterns, like the resting squat, you can send your joints and muscles the message that they still need to stay active, strong, and mobile. You're not stuck with stiffness forever. It's not about turning back the clock. It's about using what you already have and reminding your body that movement is still part of the plan. One of the biggest benefits of the resting squat is how it protects your joints and your spine. Most people don't think of a simple position as something that can safeguard their body, but this one really does. When you drop into a deep squat, you're engaging muscles in your hips, glutes, hamstrings, and even your core. All the areas that work together to stabilize your body. These muscles act like armor for your knees, your back, and your entire frame. The stronger they are, the less pressure falls directly onto the joints themselves, which means less wear and tear over time. Think about how many Americans deal with back pain or stiff knees. You hear it everywhere, from coworkers sitting at their desks, from parents at soccer practice, even from friends in their 40s and 50s who are already feeling too old to move like they used to. What's really happening isn't just age. It's that the muscles around their joints aren't doing their job anymore. The resting squat retrains your body to activate those support systems. It's like tightening the bolts and oiling the hinges on a machine that's been neglected. You instantly give your body better support and smoother movement. And let's not forget the spine. In modern life, so many of us are hunched over keyboards, steering wheels, and phones that our posture takes a beating. Over time, that rounded back position can cause not only discomfort but also long-term issues with alignment. Squatting deeply actually encourages your spine to lengthen and align properly. It naturally teaches your body to stack everything the way it was designed to: head over shoulders, shoulders over hips. Instead of slouching forward, your body learns to sit tall and supported, even when you're at rest. Here's a simple way to picture it. Imagine your joints are like the foundation of a house. If the ground around that foundation is weak and unstable, cracks eventually show up. But if the ground is solid, the house can stand strong for decades. The resting squat builds that solid ground. It trains the deep stabilizers that most exercises miss, giving your knees, hips, and back the kind of protection that keeps you moving confidently, whether you're picking up a box, running around with your kids, or just walking up the stairs. The best part, you don't need fancy equipment or a gym membership to get these benefits. All you need is your own body and the willingness to practice a position that humans have used for centuries. Over time, that simple daily habit can mean fewer aches, stronger support, and a spine that feels younger than your years. One of the biggest myths I hear all the time is that deep squats are bad for your knees. Maybe you've heard it too from a gym buddy, a doctor years ago, or even a friend who avoids bending down because they're scared it'll wreck their joints. But here's the reality: the squat itself isn't the problem. In fact, avoiding deep squats might actually be what leads to weaker knees over time. Think about your knees like the hinges on a door. A hinge that's moved regularly stays smooth and functional, but one that never gets used starts to rust, grind, and eventually squeak. Your knees work the same way. When you use their full range of motion, supported by strong surrounding muscles, you keep them healthy and resilient. It's when you stop bending deeply, when you let those muscles weaken, that the problems start creeping in. Now, in everyday American life, this makes a lot of sense. Most of us aren't bending down to sit on the ground anymore. We sit on chairs, couches, or car seats. Kids, on the other hand, drop into perfect squats all the time, playing with toys, grabbing something off the floor, or just resting in that position. They don't think twice about it because their bodies are still used to moving that way. Somewhere along the line, As adults, we stop doing it, and then we blame age when our knees feel stiff. But the truth is, the knees just lost their training. Here's another way to look at it. If you never take your arm above your head, eventually your shoulder loses the ability to go there comfortably. The same rule applies to squats. When you avoid deep bends, the supporting muscles around your knees, your quads, glutes, and hamstrings aren't challenged the way they should be. Over time, that lack of challenge leaves the knees more vulnerable. The resting squat brings those muscles back into the game, creating balance and protection where it's needed most. And let me be clear, this doesn't mean you should force yourself into a deep squat tomorrow and sit there for 10 minutes. If your ankles or hips feel tight, there are easy ways to ease into it, using a wall for support, holding onto a countertop, or even starting with higher squats and working lower over time. What matters most is reintroducing the movement, reminding your knees and the muscles around them how to do their job again. So instead of fearing the squat, see it for what it really is: a built-in, natural way to strengthen and protect your knees for years to come. Once you realize the myth isn't true, it's empowering, because suddenly you have a tool that doesn't just keep you mobile. It helps you reclaim confidence in how your body moves. So here's the part everyone wants to know. How do you actually start bringing the resting squat back into your daily life without feeling overwhelmed or discouraged? The truth is, you don't have to overhaul your entire routine. Small, consistent steps are what create lasting change, and the best part is, you can practice this movement anywhere, whether you're at home, in the office, or even while you're watching TV in the evening. Start by just practicing bodyweight squats. You don't have to drop into a deep position right away. Begin where you're comfortable and focus on control, not speed. Maybe you only lower halfway today. That's fine. Over time, as your hips, knees, and ankles loosen up, you'll naturally be able to sit deeper. If your balance feels shaky, hold onto a door frame, the back of a sturdy chair, or even a countertop for support. That extra stability helps your body feel safe as it relearns the movement. If your ankles feel tight, and let's be honest, most of us who spend hours in shoes or sitting at desks have tight ankles, you can practice the squat near a wall. Place your hands on the wall for balance and gently ease yourself into the position. Even just holding the squat for a few seconds at a time makes a difference. Think of it like brushing your teeth. You don't need to do it for an hour, but doing it daily adds up in a huge way for your health. Another tip is to sneak it into your lifestyle instead of treating it like a chore. Playing with your kids or grandkids on the floor, drop into a squat instead of sitting cross-legged, watching a show in the evening. Try holding a squat during commercial breaks. Even during your workday, you can take a quick squat break instead of just stretching your arms or grabbing another coffee. These little moments build consistency, and consistency is what unlocks the benefits. And here's the payoff. Over weeks and months, your squat will start to feel more natural. Your hips will feel looser, your knees will feel stronger, and you'll notice it in everyday things, like being able to bend down to pick up groceries without hesitation, or playing with your dog in the yard without worrying about your back. That's the real magic. You're not just exercising, you're reclaiming mobility and strength that makes your daily life easier, more enjoyable, and more youthful. The resting squat isn't about showing off at the gym. It's about giving yourself the gift of longevity, so you can keep moving with confidence, no matter your age. Start small, practice daily, and let your body remind you just how capable it really is. If you found this helpful, go ahead and hit that subscribe button so you never miss a tip. And share this with a friend who wants to stay strong, mobile, and pain-free for life.